Greetings everyone, this is Lodrik and this is a game War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, and this is my match against KilRoy. KilRoy is ally player for me, the Empire of Japan, scenario 1 and 1 day turn setup. Yeah, and this is now the second week of the war, so I slowly will maybe run out of steam. And yeah, here is one of my my battleship formation running into a enemy cargo ship. So easy picking, let's say this. Don't expect here much resistance. Yeah, and we sink the cargo ship. 13 shell hits, 1 torpedo hit. Okay, and this was you can see here north of Jolo Island, and it looks like this was a British cargo ship. More mines cleaning in Hong Kong, so I hope that maybe end of the turn the port is free. But it looks like one of my minesweepers make direct contact with the mine. This is not what I hoped, but can always happen. But local minesweepers, 1-point ships. I mean, I don't have 100, but I have maybe 50 or 60. Japan lost the minesweeper. And my submarine still fighting here with increasing destroyer presence. So slowly KilRoy will maybe drive my submarines out of position, and once I think my submarines are all damaged, out of torpedoes or out of fuel, I'm not sure if I will even come back to Pearl Harbor. It's hard to really get a hit. Too much water, too big area. If you come too close to Pearl Harbor, too much Air Force controlling the seas. So if you want to stay far away from Pearl Harbor, then it's so easy to avoid the patrol or the submarine ships. So I prefer normally to stay with my subs near to Australia or India. More likely to find something. So we saw that Hong Kong Island has no mines more, so well done. I can now bring in my heavy ships and rearm my coastal battle or my shells. And it looks like that there are still some cargo ships, or at least some Dutch ships, grey, roughly source of Java. I also sent some zeros over to Mindanao. And, yeah, I try to find this P40s in Jolo, and in Jolo I find some P-40Bs, so this is the first edition, not more under production for the Allies. This is a purely fighter. The E edition have this fighter bomber role. Can carry 500, I don't know, 500 or 250 pound bombs, something like this. But my Zeros can already come behind. But okay, again, only damage. So I'm not so sure if this P-40 is operating out of Jolo Island, or are they making only long range cap? So 2 P-40s getting destroyed. But yeah, I assume that they're coming from Jolo Island because it looks Tarakan is empty, and also in Mindanao was no fighter, but in Jolo was, so very likely that the airbase is Jolo. And Clarkfield still have some P-35s, but now no more P-40 in training missions, at least now here, nothing. And the first P-35 dying quickly. And again, I would say P-35 is not a terrible airplane. The Finnish Air Force used them very successful against the Russians. It's always a match who you're fighting. And this was in 1940. This is now nearly 2 years later. So, and you can see that the P-35 is powerful enough to hit my Nels, because my escorts again, they was able to kill one P-35, but then they get outmaneuvered, and now I have here some damaged Nels. But okay. Sometimes my Navy bombers are able to really defend themselves. So this is a small attack on airfield, Clarkfield, only to make sure that there's damage, and if there's damage then there's no fort building. And then I have a feeling if KilRoy, what is KilRoy doing? So I lost a Nell, I kill a P-35 and damage a little the base. Bombardment in China. Some numbers looking nice. Here are still some buffaloes maybe coming out of Singapore. Luckily I have some Oscars for escort. And this 1Bs, they are of course not the best. They are, I think they're a little faster than the 1Cs, but they have lacking the heavy machine gun, the second one, so less firepower for a little better dogfight maneuver values and speed. Okay, some damage, so maybe these units are in strategic move mode, so they cannot take cover. Yeah, this is now a second bomber group is coming in. Now we have more buffaloes, but no escort. This is always a moment where you believe what is wrong. I gave you already normally escort. Yeah. So now KilRoy is able to maybe down some of my T-21 bombers. There's the first. And the second. And number 3. So they all dying very easy. And I hope that once I have the Helens with the armor protection, that is maybe a little more tough to kill them. I don't say it's impossible, but maybe less easily. At the end, I'm maybe still lucky that the Buffalo's only killing, I think, 3 bombers here. Maybe number 4 will crash with ops losses. It's maybe still acceptable. Could be much more worse. Naja, but at least I can make some damage to the ground units. So this is now the bomber wing number 3, and now the buffaloes are all empty, tired or whatever. So the third bombardment was also a success. Yeah. Here is my second carrier division. Yeah. Hunting these Dutch and British ships trying to escape. Only one small cargo ship, no troops. Maybe he is more. AMCs. Many AMCs. All AMCs. But 2 can escape. Okay. Yeah, this attack was, I don't know, maybe there was a target and the target disappeared. Somehow my bombers don't want to strike and I get no information about the target. This is the 2 AMCs they survived. More ships in the source. So this is a problem. Too many ships in KilRoy splits them up in smaller and smaller groups. So yeah, I cannot run everywhere. And I'm also running out of torpedoes, out of sorties, so and my fuel getting low, and I don't know how long I can stay the source of Java. And I must always keep in mind, Prince of Wales and Repulse are still somewhere. It would be yeah, dangerous to run into them with my carriers, so I cannot make too risky moves here. So a port strike against Tarakan again, I think last time already. So hit some more cargo ships in the port. So all these light cargo ships now on fire, damaged, and will not move more. Here I lost one of my betties. So the cargo ships are all dead. I come in 5,000 feet, so of course I am a little risky, but with 5,000 feet you have a good hit ratio. Yeah, of course they have flak also more powerful. Source of Rangoon, some of my Nell bombers without escort. Luckily I'm faster or can fly low enough, and I find here one AP going in or out of Rangoon, and I have here also some torpedoes. So this is a kill. Oops, sorry, now I pushed the button. But we saw for a moment that there was also a light cruiser and a destroyer. Now I must pay the price in blood. 2 of my Nells, but after attack. So they are a little late to stop me. And only 2 of them. So it looks like that the AP sunk, plus the cargo ship, and there was some troops on board. So this was a nice hit with a lot of damaged units. Plus there's this light cruiser with 2 torpedoes heavily damaged. Maybe it can limp back to Rangoon because we are here not too far away from, so it's really 2 days maximum to arrive there. And you can see there are buffaloes still, so I cannot operate my Nell bombers, and my Zeros are busy. I cannot be everywhere. In this scenario, one you better, I think, focus. And I focus on Malaya, Vietnam, Malaya and Philippines, and try to hunt down the Dutch cargo ships and American, British cargo ships. But still, this have maybe an impact and slow down a little the build up of the Allied forces in Rangoon. More of these mini ships, AV, AP, and yeah, all support ships. So sub-tender, float plane tender, and auxiliary ammunition support ship. Everything 2-3 points. They all only support. Nothing critical, but yeah, get rid of them. Why not? These are the 2 AMCs escaped me once before, but now they are both dead. So all AMCs are dead. All the support ships trying to escape source are dead. Or maybe what is left will die now. So the last 2 are also dead. Instant kills. My torpedo bombers won't find something, but they are too late and they choose the wrong target. Naja. Good. And this was maybe just the cruiser go down, but can be any other ship, who knows. It was an Allied ship, that for sure. Here is northwest of Kaifeng. It's it is a base, not super important. I can take it. The Chinese return to Loyang. I only pay a little high loss. I mean, not too high losses, but 53 disabled units. I need to get back. For the Chinese, of course, there are much higher casualties, but they're only Chinese forces, so and KilRoy will get more or less unlimited of them over time. This was this Australian brigade unit. KilRoy was moving from Johor Bahru inside Mersing to stop my advance and maybe give him 1 or more days to organize his defense in Singapore. I kick him back out of Mersing, and with not too small, I mean, again, nearly 40, well, no, 38 disabled combat squads and some engineers. It is not a bad trade, I would say. First, it's safe, or it's give KilRoy 1 or 2 more days before I can attack Johor Bahru. And the kill ratio is maybe acceptable. All of these forces will die sooner or later. Yeah. Jesselton, only a base force, but again retreat and no surrender. So more forces running to the jungle. Malacca, at least here, surrendered. So clean victory. This was only support troops, so like maybe also only police, like Thai divisions, no real fighting. So Battle of Guam, I still have 2 to 1 odds, and I can destroy the fort level, but KilRoy always rebuild it overnight. From a 0 to a 1, this is normally always possible if we have engineers. So nothing really changed. Disabled for me, disabled for him. I destroy the fort, but still Guam don't want fall. Yeah, this is the end of the turn. So no sub-activity. My carrier forces still hunting down Dutch-British cargo ships. And 1 successful strike in Rangoon against some British light cruiser and troop transport. Not bad, but no real big surprise, I would say. So let's first check the intelligence report. Air war was this time in favor for KilRoy. I lost too many bombers here. 6 Snells getting killed air to air, plus 4 Sally. So these are 10 twin engine bombers I lost in total, plus 2 Betty, so 12. 12. This is hard to replace every day. I mean, once per month or once per week is okay, but if this if this will happen many days or often, every second day, every third day, then I will get issues. But so far the kill ratio of the campaign is 246 to 73. So still better than 3 to 1 kill ratio. And for KilRoy, it's only some Catalina, P-35, and the 3 P-40s in Jolo Island. Good. Ship sunk. At least what we know, many small ships. I can make this by points. So many small ships. The only stuff is really maybe important is this submarine tender, this troop transport ship. And if the Dauntless really sunk, I'm not sure. It was heavy damage. Maybe can we escape to Rangoon? We must wait to get confirmation here. It's a typical British light cruiser. Nothing really special and powerful, but later on this can get even better radar, more anti-aircraft stuff, and yeah. Good. Situation, no real big change in China. I took this base. I pay some, yeah, I lost some units getting disabled. The biggest issue is here that more or less I win the hex, but I lost the industry, so it was it's in the failure for me, or failed attempt. I cannot repair this, so I will normally always switch it off. Light industry resources normally makes no sense to repair it. There could be always a reason why you want to repair it, but normally. So this was a successful delay tactic for KilRoy, because if I don't capture industry, all of China is for me not really useful. I can still get here points for capturing cities and destroy Chinese forces, but to feed the industry, I need resources and light industry intact without damage. Anything else? You can see every forces are still moving. The Mongolian army will sooner or later also start to move in the north. I will slowly push here on Xi'an. My forces also crossing here the river and walking on Nanyang. So I have here some block forces. This is not strong enough, or I could maybe strike here, but then it's maybe a 1-to-1 kill ratio if I'm unlucky, so I don't want this. So I better wait that reinforcements comes and I take the hex with... I invest more time, but I have less casualties, and less casualties means less rest time. So maybe at the end I don't really waste time, but you can always try to push and strike as soon as or as fast as possible and have simply more losses. This can be successful, but this can also fail. So here is also moving forces north and south. I want to have this highway clean, so normally this is important. Takes this highway, takes the railroad, takes this highway, takes this smaller road, takes Xi'an and Nanyang, then also clean this pocket. And here in the source is also a big movement, so I need the reinforcements bringing to Shanghai, then from Shanghai to Hangzhou, and then moving down the highways and clean all of this stuff before I can push on Kukong. Also, KilRoy always moving one unit after one next unit to Kantong, always keep me busy, so I cannot bring out my forces. I am a little in defense mode now. Yeah. Hong Kong was, only to make sure, I don't know if I ever talked about this, Hong Kong was a 100%, nearly 100% success to take over. You can see, this is, that is fine. 215 light industry, but only 5 damage. And the shipyard was completely, I think, no damage at all. Nice. So, sometimes you are lucky and sometimes not so. Malaya is, so I was crossing this river. I'm now in Kuala Lumpur. I'm waiting only that my second tank unit is moving south also too. Then I can take Kuala Lumpur in 2 turns. And it doesn't matter more because I already control this hex. So I don't must rush for Kuala Lumpur. Then I can normally push these forces here to the coastline and then destroy them. So now I really cut all forces north of Johor Bahru. And in Johor Bahru is some defense, but yeah. Maybe KilRoy plays this double defense line, so first Johor Bahru, and after Johor Bahru is defeated, he fall back to Singapore. Nothing more here. Here are still some Dutch forces, single cargo ships running around. Some 2 ships here and more AMCs and cargo ships running west. So I will maybe invest one more turn, or I will bring my carriers here west of Java and then maybe northwest, going here between north of Batavia, Oosthaven, and then come back to Singapore. So maybe if I'm lucky, if this carrier division is finished, I already take Singapore, but yeah, I need a big port to repair and rearm my carriers. My cruiser's running here up and down and checking every base if there's any ship in port, but always find nothing. And here's also still one American submarine. It's a green one, so it's if I can get rid of this, yeah, it's always deep water. I don't have really the best equipment for this. I also land more troops in Mindanao, so come on. 2 Navy Guard units walking here up, and then I can maybe take a Kagarian. Yeah, so I would normally take Mindanao more or less at the same time I battled over Luzon. That in the Jochen game I make first Luzon and then Mindanao, but it costs always time, so, and the Filipino units are so weak at the beginning, so maybe you don't really need so much attack value, you need only push them hard, fast and quick. More reinforcements arrive here, you can see 2000 attack value already. Here's a block force, but I will try to go for Manila first, because in Manila is ships, air force and supplies. And once I take Manila, then no supplies can flow more to Clarkfield. So, yeah, good. Nothing really else happened. I ship a lot of stuff to Rabul, so, but it's still, most stuff is still on the way, let's say this. More stuff is coming, more stuff is coming. So, there was no battle here, and yeah. Here was KilRoy's carrier division, but I already saw that his cruisers left last turn, and now also his carriers moving east. So I bring my carriers here in a defense position, and I built here some submarines and was hoping that if KilRoy stay one more turn, then we maybe have a carrier battle. But no, he disengaged, so it makes sense. He know that he cannot. I mean, he fight in my area. I have my land-based aircraft and scout planes here. I know where he is, but he don't know where I am. I have no detection on my ships. Yeah. A lost opportunity for me, but it was simply not possible for me to really come faster here. If I already move 2 turns in high speed, and now I am again low on fuel. My destroyers are only at 27%, so now I have to return to Truk again, refuel, fix the damage, and then ready for the next operation. Good. Nothing really more. No activity. We had here some submarines, some activity here, but nothing with impact. Good. Yeah, maybe here we had this task force. I still see here 4 ships. Not sure if this is included the light cruiser or not, but it will now be latest now. KilRoy know that I have here my Betty Navy bombers, and yeah, I can bring in here my zeros, but then I don't have my zeros more in my layer. So it is like it is. Thank you all. Take care. Bye bye.